The moon is calling humanity back, not just to explore, but to stay. After over 50 years, NASA and SpaceX have partnered to establish a permanent lunar base, with SpaceX's Starship at the heart of this groundbreaking mission. This is not merely a space exploration endeavor. It marks a bold leap toward humanity's future beyond Earth. SpaceX and Starship's ambitious goal is to build a sustainable presence on the moon, leveraging the powerful capabilities of their spacecraft to accomplish this monumental task. SpaceX, under the leadership of Elon Musk, has set its sights on a bold target: to not only meet NASA's expectations, but to far exceed them by transporting enough payload to the moon with enough frequency to establish a truly permanent base. This mission is referred to as Moonbase Prime, drawing inspiration from science fiction, specifically the lunar outpost depicted in Space, 1999. The core element in realizing this vision is the Starship, the largest spacecraft ever designed. SpaceX's specialized version of Starship, known as the Lunar Starship, is designed specifically for this mission and will be used to transport astronauts and construct the base infrastructure. Unlike the version of Starship designed for Earth returns, the lunar variant is optimized to function indefinitely around the moon, focusing on lunar operations. While Starship's vast size and capabilities are well suited to this mission, there are significant challenges ahead. One of the biggest hurdles is the structure's tall, narrow design, which makes it prone to tipping over on the moon. The moon's gravity is only 1/6 of Earth's, making even minimal lateral forces more likely to destabilize a tall structure. The absence of an atmosphere means there is no air resistance to stabilize the spacecraft, further compounding the risk. Any external forces, such as uneven terrain or micrometeorite impacts, could potentially cause the base to tip, threatening the stability of operations. Moreover, the moon's harsh environment poses additional challenges. The moon may seem serene from a distance, but it is far from hospitable. There are two primary threats to any lunar base: cosmic radiation and meteorite impacts. Without a magnetic field or atmosphere, the moon's surface is exposed to constant bombardment from high-energy cosmic rays, which can lead to serious health risks for astronauts, such as an increased likelihood of cancer and genetic mutations. Additionally, the lack of atmosphere means that the moon is frequently struck by small meteorites, which collide with the surface at high velocities and could damage structures or habitats. To overcome these obstacles, SpaceX is looking at using local resources for protection. One of the most promising solutions is to use lunar regolith, the loose surface soil found on the moon, as a natural shield for the base. By covering Starship with a thick layer of regolith, it will provide a protective barrier against both cosmic radiation and micrometeorite impacts. A layer of regolith approximately 5 meters thick could effectively block harmful radiation and reduce the risks of meteorite damage. This method would also eliminate the need to bring additional protective materials from Earth, as it relies on locally available resources, making it a practical and sustainable solution. So, how exactly will SpaceX and NASA establish a permanent base on the moon? Using Starship, SpaceX plans to build a long-term human outpost that will closely resemble the fictional Moonbase Prime from Space, 1999. In the series, Moonbase Prime is situated in the Plato crater and constructed from cored rock and ores. The base is 4 kilometers in diameter, extending up to 1 kilometer below the lunar surface. It includes a central mission tower, with surface buildings arranged in concentric curves and connected by transit tunnels. The base is designed with a combination of multi-story structures for various functions, including research, living quarters, and communal spaces. Elon Musk's vision for the real Moonbase Prime exceeds NASA's goals for lunar exploration. Back in 2021, Musk emphasized the need for permanent lunar residency, stating that humanity should have a large, occupied base on the moon. To achieve this, SpaceX plans to place a lunar Starship lander at the moon's south pole, above the Shackleton crater. The base will be covered with a 5-meter layer of regolith, with only the airlocks and the nose hatch remaining uncovered. One of the airlocks will be transformed into an observation deck, providing a permanent view of Earth over the moon's horizon. The interior of the lunar Starship will feature 3 levels, which will include methane and oxygen tanks for fueling and other vital supplies. SpaceX will need two variants of Starship for this mission. The first is the basic version of the spacecraft, specifically designed for lunar landings. Unlike traditional bases that require building individual habitats, the lunar Starship itself will be repurposed as part of the Moonbase infrastructure. Upon landing, the Starship's cargo section will be separated from the fuel tank, which will be offloaded using a mobile crane. This crane would have been delivered in a prior mission to the Moon, and it will transport the cargo to the designated base site. Once in place, the cargo section will be carefully lowered and positioned horizontally on the Moon's surface, either standing alone or connected to other cargo modules. The entire Starship will be covered in lunar regolith for protection. To convert Starship into a permanent base, it will need to be reoriented horizontally to maximize the use of its length and create a more spacious interior. Tipping the spacecraft onto its side will make it more functional as a living and working space. This process will involve cables attached to the spacecraft to gradually pull it into position, with a crane or winch aiding in this complex task. Once Starship is reoriented, its interior will be transformed into a fully functional base. The lower portion of the spacecraft will be repurposed into a storage tank farm for the lunar base, storing essential cryogenic fluids. The remaining structure will be remodeled to include living quarters, research labs, recreation areas, and essential facilities like a gym and sanitation. This horizontal orientation allows for a continuous, open floor plan, offering astronauts a comfortable and efficient living environment. With the addition of storage space beneath the main floor, all essential supplies will be easily accessible. The second variant of Starship needed for the mission is the tanker version, designed to refuel Starships in Earth orbit. This tanker variant will be critical for supporting the lunar base with necessary volatiles like hydrogen, methane, nitrogen, and water. These materials will be used for fuel, agricultural activities, and industrial processes. Water, in particular, can be transported from Earth or generated by combining hydrogen and oxygen from lunar regolith. The tanker Starships will integrate into the lunar base's infrastructure, providing the necessary resources to sustain operations and expand the base. SpaceX's vision for a permanent moon base extends beyond the moon itself. Elon Musk envisions a future where a fleet of Starships regularly travels to the moon, enabling scalable, long-term lunar operations. The goal is to mass-produce Starships and eventually launch one spacecraft per day, making lunar missions more frequent and cost-effective. This would allow for continuous expansion of the lunar base, supporting further scientific research, resource extraction, and even agriculture. SpaceX is not just aiming to establish a sustainable lunar outpost. It is laying the groundwork for even more ambitious goals, including the colonization of Mars and beyond. Ultimately, establishing a long-term lunar base is a crucial step for humanity. With SpaceX's technology and Elon Musk's ambitious vision, humanity is poised to expand its reach into space, setting the stage for a future among the stars. The Moonbase Prime Initiative will not only enable sustained human presence on the Moon, but will also pave the way for future missions to Mars and other celestial bodies. This is the next great frontier for humanity,